Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the north corner of the map, playing in green, we've got Corvinus 1 playing as the Order of the Dragon, and his opponent in the south, playing in blue, we've got Divine DFP playing as the Chinese. Welcome everyone to Rocky River. That's the map for today, and well, we can see a little bit of cheeky drop off of wood with the supervision coming out there for the Chinese. Now we've got the old versus the new. The Chinese, one of the vanilla civilizations, came to you with the release of Age of Empires 4. And of course the Order of the Dragon coming to you with the Sultan's Ascent DLC. I'm excited for this matchup. We always do love an old versus new. And I wonder whether anyone's going to go for the middle ponds. We shall see how this one pans out. Now the Chinese probably more likely to do so because they do have a great wood economy. Although they're probably not now because there's a lot of villages on that sheep and 2 villages on gold. So it's going to go for a faster tech up. Maybe looking to get a Barbican in the middle of the map to secure a bit of that mid-map objective. The sacred site, maybe we shall see. Maybe he's going to go on a boar with the Barbican. We'll have to see. Now the Order of the Dragon, they're an interesting civilization. It feels like these days they tend to sometimes go for a second town centre, but that's kind of a little bit dated. I mean, the last couple of weeks they've been going for more of a little bit of feudal age aggression into a fast castle. Just in the same way that the HRE tend to do, and maybe look to get some of those relics. We shall see how Corvinus decides to play this one, because this isn't your standard map, of course. It's kind of a mini hybrid one with the Rocky River side of things, the shorefish. We'll have to see. But certainly going for that fast tech up here, the Chinese, or fastish, or at least planning to. Bear in mind that the Order of the Dragon, they do have some beastly dragon villagers. More costly, takes it longer to produce, but they do have more of an efficiency of gathering resources, 25% to be exact, and build 20% faster too. Plenty of sheep coming back home, which he's going to need for sure. Well, whilst we're waiting for the telegraphing of strategies that are probably going to be coming out pretty soon, I'd love to say a very big thank you for everyone supporting the channel, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube. I'm streaming a lot on Twitch these days, so worth checking out. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to join in live at some point. Going to be the Minework Palace coming up for Corvinus. No real surprises there. Very commonly chosen landmark because, of course, the Ark and Chapel not all that great for the Order of the Dragon. Only gives an additional 10% gather rate, but to be fair, though, when it synergizes with the fact that villagers already have a 25% buffer, it's not too terrible, but definitely falling out of fashion for the Order of the Dragon. In fact, I can't see the last time I saw an Ark and Chapel being built by the Order of the Dragon. Minework Palace does unlock some abilities, of course, or new technologies rather, but also gives that massive discount on blacksmith techs, which can be pretty nice and makes them come in pretty fast too. Yeah, there's going to be the Barbican, going to go on the west side to protect the gold and the berries. Now, I wonder whether the Chinese would try a sneaky fast castle as well, because that's always a threat for the Order of the Dragon, right? You don't really want to face up with the Order of the Dragon going for a fast castle without being challenged, or without challenging it. Or at least going for a fast castle yourself. I'm kind of surprised or interested to see what Divine decides to do. Thank you, Oriental Sniper, fixing up the commands and whatnot. This is a tournament game, by the way, hosted by Road, and so big shout out to him. I believe he works with Rising Empires, and so it was a bit of a last minute decision to cast the games, but they were looking good, so why not? Now, both players are actually building the landmarks with one villager, so you can possibly think about Castle Age here. Although, to be fair, the Chinese might still go for a Song Dynasty 2-town centre play. We'll have to see. No villagers on stone just yet, but you probably want to activate the Song Dynasty first before doing so. We shall see. A couple more sheep coming in for Corvinus. No player going for the middle of the map in terms of the shorefish just yet. Both looking to play this a bit standard, as if it was a pure land map. There it is, going on to stone. Now, if it is going to be a second town centre Song Dynasty play, it's going to be an interesting one because it's going to give a lot of map control away for the Order of the Dragon, and it is going to be a fast castle by Corvinus. This is kind of sneaky, tricky, because, well, the Chinese can't pressurize that castle age, right? So it's going to be a very fast castle from the Order. What that allows them to do is get those Ranks Cathedral relics in play, and that's a little tricky. Like, you know, getting relics with the Ranks Cathedral is very powerful. But the Chinese economy is incredibly strong, so it could come down to an issue where, well, there's a timing window opportunity, right? With the Castle Age tech up, it gives Corvinus the ability to get the relics, but also challenge with military. Maybe highly armored units, maybe knights, maybe even man-at-arms. We shall see. Now, of course, they're very expensive for the Order of the Dragon, those units. But he could try to punish the Chinese boom, and that's probably what he needs to try and do, right? The Chinese, though, if they boom hard and they try and defend well, eventually their economy will carry them through with a lot of military. The question is, will he be able to defend well enough against a strong Order of the Dragon attack? And the eco for the Order of the Dragon won't be too terrible as well. When you factor in the gather relics, it really buffers it out a little bit. Buy some time before the eco really starts to outstrip them from the Chinese. We'll have to see how this one pans out. Bearing in mind as well, the Chinese playing with a bit of more of a greedy approach, with a second town centre close to home, does mean the Order of the Dragon can venture out into the deer camps, which is going to be the precious food sources that he might wish to gather. And delay that farming transition. Going to be the Regent's Cathedral. 6 minutes 30 seconds. Well, before that he started building. It's going to be a super fast castle from the Order. Not under any pressure at all, of course. And plenty of villages and gold. He's going to be able to afford some units pretty quick. Although he doesn't really have a ability to produce any units because he doesn't have a production building. Only one village on wood, so going to take some time for that to happen. 26 villages versus the 21. Now, some of that is accounted for by the second town centre, but some of it is also accounted for by the fact that the dragon villages take longer to produce. Now, here comes an archery range. Now, maybe Chukunu could be an option. They're a little bit of a feudal / castle age unit. I mean, you know, they are technically a feudal age unit, but with the burst damage, they can still pack a punch against some of the armoured units, but they do need a large number of them, and they definitely need steeled arrow in order to be able to do that. No steeled arrow, of course, just yet. Plenty of wood, though. Could get the blacksmith up and running. Looking to wall up first. Now, the question is, how do the Chinese deny the relic situation? Because that's what Corvinus is going to go after. And ultimately, I don't think the Chinese can. They don't have any units, and they're not going to have any units for a while. Or if they do, it's going to be infantry-based units, so it takes a while for them to get on the map. And yeah, this could be a boom fest, so I hope you guys got some refreshments, some snacks, because we could be in for a long one. Prelate moving out. Scout is scouting it, but can't really do too much about it. Getting a mill first. Maybe we can do it wheelbarrow. And then a production building. Imagine going 8 minutes 15 seconds without a single production building. Maybe that's got to be the title of this video, maybe. And we could look to deny this Corvinus, just be a pain in the butt. Try and stand in the way of the walls. He's trying to take out the wall. He can't do it just yet. He's going to stand there instead. Be a bit of a pain. Scout coming in for Divine, though. We'll double team him. Villager lead kind of extending pretty nicely now. 42 to 25. But bear in mind, it's not your standard vanilla Civ difference there. Because, of course, Dragon Villagers take longer to train. Getting an outpost as well for that vision. And protection on that wood line. Only 3 villagers. He's still on Straggler Tree. Doesn't have... Wait. He's going for Imperial Age, isn't he? Oh my god, this is super greedy. But you know what? This is smart. Because ultimately, the Imperial Age... Oh god, this is crazy. He's actually going Imperial... This is nuts. But you know what? It's actually clutch play. Because the Palace of Swabia, if you thought it was crazy for the HRE, it's even better for the Order of the Dragon. Because it's the same Palace of Swabia. But bear in mind, the Dragon Villagers are more costly. They take longer to train. So the percentage advantage you get... The percentage bonus you get for the Palace of Swabia for the Order of the Dragon, well, because there's a percentage advantage, it obviously knocks off a little bit more of the real value that's being attributed to the Dragon Villagers, right? Because the Dragon Villagers are more expensive and they take longer to train. So percentage-wise, you get a little bit more off than you would if you're the HRE. So great value going to be had here. And I guess the Imperial Age is going to take up. They're going to have a few units, but boy, oh boy, they're going to be strong. China's going to wall up, and full map control is going to go in the way of the Order. Now, if the Order can get some map control and control this gold in the front, well, that's going to leave just one gold vein. That's going to dry up very quickly. It's going to be very difficult to maintain a strong push from the Chinese, and, well, that could be the game plan here for Corvinus. Already has 3 relics plus 1 more. Sure, he's a lot of villages behind, but you know what? These relics, they're kind of bridging that gap a little bit. I'll tell you what will bridge that gap. There's a sheer number of villagers about to pop out very quickly once he gets the Palace of Swabia up. Now, whilst there's not a lot of action, it's still enough to talk about. It's an interesting play just to think about the strategies on offer. Double granary plate. Wait, there's not enough space for the farms. Oh, man. That's a bit rough. There's no real option. I mean, the town center spawns as it spawns, and that's unfortunate. There is that Palace of Swabia. Going with 22 villagers, really committing to it. Imagine not making a single production building until you get to the Imperial Age. And not a single unit either. Not a single military unit, at least. We can't count the double scout. We can't count the prelates. There it is. 11-minute Imperial Age time. Divine might be thinking, what the hell have I just seen? He's got a farming transition now. Divine's got so much gold in the bank. Holy moly. I mean, he could even go for a sacred site victory here, Corvinus. Going to get Tithe Barns. This is such a smart play. Like, he's got the relics, got Regnant's Cathedral. You get Tithe Barns as well. And that economy is going to start to really scale well. I mean, there is a bit of a timing window, maybe for Divine, but it's a narrow one. It's a super narrow one. Because he hasn't been able to produce any units, right? And it feels like he's going to go for Imperial Age himself too, maybe? Holy moly. Now, he could go with the Great Wall Gatehouse, which will buy him some time. He's got to go for a market in the front because he doesn't have the space. There's that third sacred site being capped. And this is classic Divine play. Playing the late game. But the scary thing is, by the way, the Order of the Dragon, because their villagers are 25% more efficient at gathering, it means they can get away with sustaining the economy with less villager numbers. It means it frees up more population space for military. Astronomical clock tower, the landmark of choice for the Chinese to get to the castle age. Let's now switch over to the income per minute. Food income not looking great for Corvinus. But that will change soon as once he does get the farming transition up, which will probably come in the next 5-10 minutes. Eco, though, super strong for the Chinese and Divine. It has been for a while. So there is certainly that timing window coming out now. There's that Castle Age and maybe the Imperial Age after. But imagine being up against an Imperial Age army whilst you were in the Feudal Age. That happened just earlier. This is kind of... Wait, is he fighting with 2 villagers against Spearmen? It's kind of funny. He's being healed up by the prelates. He's being out-healed. He's just, you know, casually fighting with villagers. Why not? Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we love casting Corvinus games. Because he does crazy stuff like this. He's gonna keep... He's actually out-healing the damage coming in. And the 2 villagers are going to fight forever. Oh, jeez. I mean... He could do this all day, and this is a fight that Corvinus will eventually win. Slowly, painfully, but surely he will win. Although, a couple more spearmen heading forward, and... I mean, you gotta love it, right? Eventually, Divine backs away. But it's kind of crazy, these prelate hitting so much. Bear in mind as well, he does, Wait. Does he have the tech yet? No, he doesn't have the tech yet. Could be looking to get Inspired Warriors later. Not that he has Eco to support it, really. Gonna get an outpost first. Kind of struggling on the food count, but getting a decent amount of wood and maybe looking to get that farming transition. Trying to get an outpost. I'm not so sure this works, actually. Although it does have 1 Gilded Spearman. Here comes a crossbow or 2. He's back away. Keep this Gilded Spearman alive for as long as possible. I'm not sure about this situation. It's kind of hard to read, by the way. That's what the Order of Dragon have done. It's disorientating. Knowing who actually wins fights, considering the numbers. They're all mixed up. And one Dragon Villager goes down. He's healing the other one up. 2 crossbows. Comes in with another crossbow. Another 2. Yeah, I think eventually... Chinese should... I mean, the thing is, the outpost goes up, though, and he will garrison inside, and... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, a lot of spearmen there now on the west side. Getting poking prodding, and an STBs. Yeah, surely now the Chinese eventually win this, but... Oh, the outpost just doesn't go up, and... That's unfortunate for Corvinus in the end. Well, the thing is the crazy thing with the Chinese, they can supervise production buildings, right? Might even have to, just pump it out. Production buildings, they're going to really start pumping out unit numbers. This is where things become really tricky for Corvinus. He's going to need some outposts with the cannon emplacements to try and defend as best as he can. Does have relics inside this one. Here comes production, though. It doesn't have a hugely sustainable food income, although it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Just needs a bit more time. And Divine trying to deny that time. Farming transition very much completed, or not so much completed, but very much, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much completed really for the Chinese. And the issue is that the Palace of Swabia, whilst it's quick at producing villages, I mean, two-town center Song Dynasty, ultimately, it's incredibly fast, and it's going to take a lot of catching up here. He's got to defend with his heart, got to defend with everything he's got. But he's starting to pump out units. And these are dragon units too. Interesting enough, it looks like Divine waiting for those all-important upgrades. Looking to get Steeled Arrow. Imagine that. It's going to certainly help those crossbows. Spearman crossbow on the menu. Now, Nester Bees could work pretty well. But we'll get a mass of them. The only trouble is there's a Culverin in the play, so maybe not Nester Bees then. Maybe they won't do so well. Corvinus, though, with every minute that goes away, his economy is starting to catch up a little bit. Divine, he's waiting for that Imperial Age, right? He's going to be getting it, but that's bought time for Corvinus in a big way. Greased axles coming in for Divine. Looking to grease it up. Now, I wonder whether he goes for the Great Wall Gatehouse. If he's aggressive with it, it does have a lot of military, so maybe look to put it forward and deny these two gold veins. This could be a really key part of the objective of this map, by the way. Two gold veins very close to each other. Gold, obviously, a very critical resource. Does have some 8,000 gold veins on either side of the map as well, so that's kind of equally as important. But we shall see, because not only does it deny the gold veins if he places a Great Wall Gatehouse here, it will also get a really good staging ground to attack from. But instead, we'll see, actually. Yeah, he's making it here. Okay, he's making it back at home, looking to defend and making sure he's safe and secure. Oh, he could build it now. Yeah, there it is. Great Wall Gatehouse has been deployed and is going to be getting there relatively soon because, of course, the Chinese villagers do build faster. But all important upgrades are coming in. Elite army tactics, inspired warriors. I wonder how many prelates he's got. I mean, that's a big deal, by the way. It's a strategy that I love to see with the Order of the Dragon because they've got such high HP. It's very difficult for them to be one-shot killed by your enemies. And so that gives an opportunity for the prelate to boost up a bit of HP before it really eventually goes down. So it's a very strong way to play the Order of the Dragon. Balanced projectiles coming in for Divine. Cannon emplacements too. It looks like both players are going to be meeting in the middle with one big fight. I don't know about you guys, but when you were younger, did you used to do this, build up massive armies and just say, hey, you know, let's play truce for a few minutes. We'll meet in the middle in 10 minutes. So that's what's happening here. About to see a big fight. I'm sure of that much. We do love big fights. Securing the right side on that sacred site with stone walls, just to make sure you can't be raided from here. Getting a bit more farms around in the corner. Corvin is very playing within his shell in terms of, at least within the base. Gold could become an issue for him. Although not really, with 4 relics. It's kind of a bit bonkers with the Regnants, but of course, the gold income slightly better for Divine. Wow, they're really going for it. They want the 200 population first and then go. Now, this is a good time for Corvinus because he's getting that economy well. And to be fair with the Order of the Dragon, you kind of want around about 100 villages. Then you push on from there. But we will need to get production builders to make sure that if he does lose his army, that it replaces them. He's getting Dragon Hand Cannoneers. One of my favourite units, by the way. Incredibly strong. 250 HP. It's 44 hand cannon damage. Get a couple of prelates in there. That will really change things. Inspired warriors mean that the units will deal 15% more damage and gain an extra armor. So a couple more prelates and then I think it'll be good to go. That's a force to be reckoned with. We've got to make sure it doesn't delay too much though, because I mean Divine, he's comfortable at this stage of the game, just bearing in mind the type of playstyles that these players have. Divine in his late game, he's very adept at it. It's what he thrives in. Corvinus got to be careful. Start and head forward though, with a slow push out with the scout. Looking to secure that gold vein. He wants gold. Oh, villagers coming out. Yep, go for the gold. Oh, what's happening here? Monk trying to decap the sacred site. I mean, he's going to make it. 7 HP, although might be blasted by that Corvin before too long. Trying to wall up and eke out that central sacred site. Is he going to decap this? He might just. The Corvin turned around. There's no emplacements inside these outposts. I think he decaps it. It's kind of funny. He's actually going to decap it, isn't he? I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's just funny. Just to go behind enemy lines like that. He's going to capture it as well. Decapping wasn't enough. He had to capture it too. Understandable. Getting the forward production. I like this play, by the way. You really want these units to come out. Especially with the Order of the Dragon, by the way. They're not swarmy, right? When you think about the Japanese, they can swarm your opponents. The Order of the Dragon are kind of opposite. They kind of have to be heavy hitters. Trouble is, if they lose their army, you know, they've got such small numbers anyway that it can snowball, and you want the army to come out really fast to rejoin the ranks. So the forward production is going to be really helpful for Corvinus. He needs that. And the Chinese can be pretty zergy as well. They can be pretty pumping out units, although it doesn't really have that much in the way of forward production, but he's going to head forward now. Here comes the engagement. Quite a lot of spearmen, quite a lot of crossbows. The hand cannoners diving in with the spearmen as the meat shield in front of them. This is a fight that I think Corvinus just wins. There's just so many more premium units. The dragon units, they've been built different. The spearmen tanking heavily on the front line now. It does have a couple of these hand cannoneers, by the way. The Chinese hand cannoneers are very strong in terms of range. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because he's just running right in. Here come the Nesta Bees, 2 of them, and a Springald, 2 Corvins though. Going to push those Nesta Bees away. And that is absolutely huge. That's a massive army going down there for Divine. Now he's going to start spawning more units. He's got plenty of resources banked up. And this is go time for Corvinus. He's heading forward with 2 Corvins and the back line, making sure those Nesta Bees don't get too much value. There are 3 Springals itching forwards. Would he micro it down? And well, hand cannoneers for the Chinese still holding on and going for the palace guards too. Elite palace guards and hand cannoneers, an army force to be reckoned with. Oh, he loses 1 Culver in there. Good snipe by the Chinese. Don't forget, these are clock... Oh no, these are regular Springald. One of them's a regular Springald. One of them's a clock tower one. Spearmen diving in. Gonna try and get close on top of those hand cannoneers if they can. Nesta Bees deploy. Those units are clumped up for Corvinus. He's got to be careful. Does only have 1 prelate. Loses out on 1 Nesta Bees. 1 more still remains. Gonna be focusing on those gilded crossbowmen. Still doing damage. Wait, the Chinese. They're really starting to push here. Plenty of palace guards. They move fast as well. Hand cannoneers on the back line of those. And, well, the Chinese actually kind of pushing quite hard. Corvinus has to be careful. He does have some stone coming in, but not enough for a keep just yet. I'll tell you who does have enough for a keep. Divine. He might be heading forward with villagers soon to solidify. There it is. There's that keep being placed, and it's understandable. You can read the game. You can think about what the players are thinking about and just call it, because that keep is going to be in a strong position. Going to deny the gold, and this is an issue because Corvinus, sure, he has 4 relics. He has Tithe Barns, but he might not have mineable gold soon. Got the one on the west there, but these 2 now have been pushed back, and the keep is forward, and the forward production going to go down. It's going to buy him some time here, Corvinus, to maybe just to recalibrate and regroup. Down to 145 population, though. These are going to be tricky. These hand cannoneers for the Chinese, with the extra range, by the way, it makes a big difference. It's not so much just the high damage output, 42, but the extra range that they have over the other hand cannoneers generally makes they get that first hit. It dishes out a lot of damage. Although we do need to compare it to a dragon hand cannon, actually. Yeah, it is an extra tile range. It makes a big difference. That first hit advantage you get, it is really not to be underestimated. There is a bombard for the Chinese clock tower nonetheless, and well, he's going to get more of those torches coming out from those palace guards. Got to be careful the gilded spearmen do charge in. But the hand cannoneers, this is such a mass for the Chinese. When they get a mass of these hand cannoneers, it can be very devastating, even against the gilded units. Two of those clock tower Nesta bees are focusing on the hand cannoneers for the dragon, or the Order of the Dragon on the back line. Another keep going up, and it should go up. There's build speed for the Chinese villagers super fast. And while the Order of the Dragon can't focus on them, because if they do, they'll be chewed alive by those hand cannoneers from the Chinese. Taking the engagement, Corvinus has got to be careful. He's going to lose that army once again. Corvinus, his bank of resources is not all that much. Got 2,000 food coming in, but he doesn't have the bank of the food. And it means it's struggling to keep up with the numbers. Down to 126 population. This is looking tricky. The Chinese are stuck at 200. I mean, he can't even produce more even if he wanted to. And he's really starting to push. Corvinus is about trying to buy time, but again, I'm not so sure how he stops this force. Not this army composition. This army composition is just a little bit too strong. He's heading further forward now, eking a little bit of a lead in terms of map control, getting more outposts, getting the vision, getting the static defenses, and yeah, this might be a bridge too far. Corvinus, don't think he can stop this. The Chinese late game is starting to reign supreme. It's been like this way for a while for the Chinese. Strong late game, and they're proving it once again against a new civilization in Age of Empires 4. Still has a bit of production, still the economy intact, but the economy might be jumped on soon. And yeah, that food income, it's good for Corvinus, but it's not good enough. And Divine, he loves this type of play. He thrives on it. He excels at it. 2 bombards now. Going to take out infrastructure. The addition of siege is clutch. Without the 2 bombards, I mean, he'll still be making inroads, but the 2 bombards are going to be taking out the production buildings. Here come the horsemen. Going to try and dive on the bombards. They're getting close. They might get on top of it, actually, but they will be dying in the process, and that's a big loss. Those hand cannoneers sniping out the horsemen. Does take out Springald. In fact, the 2 bombards still alive. He's keeping them alive. Body blocked them out, those horsemen. Palace guards coming in once again, tanking the front line, allowing the hand cannoneers to do their work. Bombards deploy once again, taking out the stable. Going to be taking out all those stables before too long. Palace guards swarming through. Corvinus, he's struggling to hold. That was a good push by the horsemen, but wasn't enough. Wasn't able to snipe out the bombards in the end, and the outpost spam continues. The Chinese unit spam continues. And well, the retreat for the Order of the Dragon, you guessed it, it continues. Down to 27 military and 145 population. Now it does have the Yuan dynasty, by the way. Going to be increasing the movement speed of these infantry units. As you can see, 15% faster. Makes them add into the fight a lot quickly. I mean, take a look at the palace guards. It's got 1.58 tiles per second. Just short of a scout's movement speed. Well, keeps pushing further forward. Corvinus needs to stem this bleeding as much as possible, as fast as possible, because he's starting to be overrun. The bombards, if they take the outpost down, even emergency repairs might not be enough. Palace Guard is going to focus on the villagers on wood. It's going to lose a lot of those dragon villagers. Even the Palace Swabi won't be able to keep up with that loss. And this is looking tricky. Those hand cannoneers still looking in great numbers. It hasn't been able to narrow them down, those numbers. The bombard's still firing away. Now, production building is still here. 3 barracks and the stable will buy some time. Oh, bombard comes out for the Order of the Dragon, but just 1 so far, and the Palace Guards might jump on top of that. He's being pushed heavy. Nothing else happening really on the other side of the map. Although Corvinus is getting gold here on the west side and a keep there, but that's the least of his troubles here, getting gold. The big problem is this army bursting forward, and he's got a lot of bank of resources. It doesn't have the production here, Corvinus. That's where he's really struggling. This could be the final death knell. This is the big push. 63 military to 15, 88 villagers to 122, Divine in full control. And this should be a situation that is too difficult to come back here for the Order of the Dragon. Will he have any tricks up his sleeves, Corvinus? I'm not so sure. He's going to try something. He's staying in the game for now. But with all 4 landmarks in one screen, it's going to make easy pickings for the Chinese. They just need to get on top of it with the bombards and take out all the production. It means that army can't come out. It means that he can't fight back. It means the landmark's going to be exposed. And that means he would lose the game. Palace Guards just causing havoc in the Order of the Dragon economy. Villagers from the farms have to back away. Going to garrison inside the town centre, but there probably won't be enough space in there. So villagers will go down to the Palace Guards, and yeah, villagers, the Order of the Dragon completely idled at this point. Economy in tatters. Might lose the Regnus Cathedral. Doesn't need to lose it. He knows he's out, and Corvinus does lose it. Hope you guys enjoyed the casted game. Take care, and see you next time.